What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and we're here with another video, and in today's video we are going to be determining, or I'm going to be giving my opinion on which champion holds their belt for the longest and how long every champion does hold their belt for. I'm going to predict how many more defenses they're going to get. I'm going to outline their strengths and weaknesses, and I'm also going to look at a few matchups and provide kind of a sense of how difficult I think those fights are for the champions. So let's get started with the strawweight division. So Zhang Weili is the champion at strawweight, and to be honest, I think she's going to hold the belt for a while. Her strengths, she's got strong grappling, she's got good power, good striking, great technique. She's just a very good all-round fighter. I guess if you're going to look at weaknesses, the social credit system, like she might be losing a few points there. I don't know if they might not want like women fighting or something. I don't know how China is. She probably escaped from like a concentration camp and they're just not too happy about it. So that is a potential weakness. But apart from that, she has been knocked out before. She has been kind of rocked a little bit, like Rose Namajunas TKO'd her in the first fight. And apart from that, she is getting older. She's 34 years of age, so I don't know how good the longevity is going to be. But if you're looking at the matchups on the horizon, Yan Jianan is the next fight. I think she'll run through her pretty easily. Tatiana Suarez, maybe I'm going to say medium difficulty. I think she still beats her pretty comfortably. Like Verna Jandiroba, Marina Rodriguez, these are the guys or the girls that she hasn't fought yet. Maybe they are guys, I'm not sure. But apart from that, like Dern, there's just not a whole lot of really competitive matchups. So I do think as long as she wants to stay at 115, as long as she thinks, I'll just stay here, defend the belt a few times, you know, maybe she goes up at one point. I think I would favour her to beat Grasso, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But I think Weili is going to get around five defenses. If she sticks around, she could get as many as she wants, in my opinion, even if she gets older. But yeah, I think she's going to hold the belt for a while. Let's move on to the flyweight division, in the women's division. Alexa Grasso is the current champion, and I do think she's going to get around one more title defense, and that'll be it, in my opinion. I do think they're going to book the Valentina fight sometime soon. I think she'll win that by close decision, and then I do think she's going to lose to like Erin Blanchfield, Manon Fiorot, any of these girls coming up, or Zhang Weili. If she moves up, I just don't see a lot of fights for her that I like, because especially I think Erin Blanchfield's going to beat Manon Fiorot, and then I think she's going to get the title fight, and I do not favour Grasso in that matchup at all. But if we're looking at Grasso just as a fighter, she's got clean boxing, she's got nice feet, and she also has the support of the Mexican cartel. So those are her strengths. And then weaknesses, takedown defense, not super strong, like she can be kind of thrown around a bit. And she's too hot to succeed in female MMA, because anyone that's attractive, you're not allowed to do well in WMMA. It just doesn't work out for you. So her next opponent's Shevchenko, I imagine, not confirmed, but that's pretty much guaranteed. I think she gets it done, but apart from that, you know, potential opponents, Blanchfield, I don't like that for her. Zhang Weili, I don't like that for her. Even Manon Fiorot, I think, could probably beat her, maybe. And then Macy Barbers, whatever. But I just don't see her holding onto the belt for that long. So I don't think we see Grasso as champ by the end of the year. But let's move on to the flyweight division. Pantoja, the champion, the absolute GOAT of the sport. He's 5-0, you know. That's him holding up a nice, just proud gesture to show how happy he is to watch his kids fight, and they're succeeding really well. He's super proud of them. And yeah, Pantoja, though, as a fighter, as you can see here, knockout puncher, tremendous hand speed and accuracy, superior ground skills, and also no known weaknesses, of course, for Alexandre Pantoja. But in all seriousness, he's got elite grappling, he's got a solid chin, and he's got great power, ferociousness. He's just a durable guy. Weaknesses, cardio does look a bit suspect at times. His defense is a bit questionable, and of course his non-existent father could be a potential weakness. But his opponents in the future, like Manel Kape, I think is medium difficulty. Albazi, medium difficulty, could provide a few problems. But apart from that, Makayev, Cara France, like Royval Moreno, I don't favour any of these guys to beat him at all. And so, as I said, the weakness, though, he is getting a bit older. I don't think I mentioned that, but he's also, I think, 33 or 34. I think he turns 34 in like a few months' time. So that could be a concern for Pantoja if he starts to really decline. But even still, I just think he beats everyone. So I think until he gets too old and loses his chin, I think he gets 3 to 6 title defenses, depending on how active he can be. If he fights like Albazi in Brazil, beats him, fights maybe like a Royval or a Makayev or something later in the year, and maybe in like Abu Dhabi, if he fights Makayev, I think he beats him. Like, I just see this guy holding on to the belt for a hot minute. So Pantoja, no one beats him in my opinion. He might be one of the best, one of the champions that I don't see losing their belt for a hot minute. But we move up to the bantamweight division. Sean O'Malley is the bantamweight champion, and Mr. Sean, he's got a fight coming up against Chito Vera. I think he's going to win that, but I don't favour him to beat a lot of other guys. So let's look at Sean O'Malley. His elite striking is one of his strengths. He's got like one-shot power, and he also has the UFC's blessing. So if you look at it in terms of if you're trying to predict how many title defenses he's going to get, you guys might say, oh, I think he loses to Merab or he loses to Corey Sandhagen, and I would agree. But there's a good chance the UFC just does some swindling and, you know, gives him fucking Dominic Cruz or some shit coming off a loss. So the UFC might just give this guy the easiest matchups possible, but if they do give him the hard fights, I don't favour him. His weaknesses, of course, anti-grappling. He's a bit frail, and also, you know, he needs to keep control of his missus. She's, you know, sleeping around a bit too much. So Mr. O'Malley, I don't favour him against Merab, Corey, Peter Yan, or Song Yadong. I think those are all really difficult fights for him. So I think he beats Chito, and then I think the Sugar Show run is going to come to an end. But maybe he just has plot armor and just wins, but I doubt it. So we move on to the featherweight division. Ilia Topuria. Look, I just don't think this guy's going to lose the belt for a while, if I'm being real. He's got elite boxing. He's got the power of manifestation. And he's also his great grappling too. Weaknesses, I guess, leg kicks, head kicks, maybe. And also his ego. I think he's actually the biggest weakness, because I can see this guy, you know, maybe slacking off, maybe getting a bit too big for his boots, thinking he's a bit bigger than he is. Like, he really gets comfortable and then maybe doesn't take a training camp seriously. He's getting a bit into himself too much. I don't know. Gets sidetracked, tries to go do boxing, tries to focus on other stuff. Like, he could end up down the Conor McGregor route, and a guy that could have beat a whole bunch of guys dips or doesn't fight at his best level because he's focusing on other things or because he's not taking his career seriously. We could see the John Jones approach, you know, I beat you after a weekend of cocaine. That's what we might see from Ilia Topuria. But if he stays on track, if he stays healthy, if he stays fit, and if he stays motivated, I think Volkanovski in a rematch, I think he beats. I think that's still probably his hardest fight. Just like, because Volk's just the best, like, in the division apart from him. I know people saying Holloway's going to beat him because Holloway, he's got a good chin. There's no way he gets knocked out. I'm sorry to break it to you guys. Holloway's going to get fucking slept if his defense is as bad as it normally is. If he fights Topuria and his defense is as bad as normal, he's going to get fucking brutally KO'd. Because I think Gaethje's going to soften him up. And Holloway's only getting older. He's been getting cracked in fights, and I hate to break it to you, but that right hand that he landed on Volk probably at least drops Holloway, if not KOs him as well. So I do think he's going to beat up Holloway just because I don't think Holloway's progressing in his career. Maybe I'm proven wrong and he runs through Gaethje and then gets a lightweight title shot and then gets a featherweight title shot. That would be great. Sick for the Holloway fans if that happens, but I think Ilia would deal with him pretty comfortably. Just stylistically, I don't think Holloway's good enough. Also, Evloev, Ortega, low difficulty matchups. I don't think he struggles with those two. Defenses-wise, if he stays at featherweight and just tries to rack up defenses, I think he can get a bunch of them, like 5, 6. I think we're looking at a long-reigning champion. But if he does go up to lightweight, or if he goes and takes a year off and tries to box, or if he does all this bullshit and the UFC holds him out or something like that, I do see him maybe not getting as many. So I think we see him hold the belt for a couple years. Even in a fight with like Sean O'Malley, I think he wins that. Anyone else going up from like Aljamain Sterling, I think he beats him. Like, there's just not a whole lot of guys I favour to beat Ilia right now. So yeah, we move on though to the lightweight division. Islam Makhachev. Look, I don't like him. He annoys me, but I have to admit, he's a fucking phenomenal fighter, and he probably is going to hold on to the belt for a while if he does stick at 55. So, let's look at Islam. Strengths-wise, he's got grappling, he's got counter-striking, He's super well-rounded, and of course, he's got plot armor. You know, the Khabib storyline, father's plan, alhamdulillah. Nothing ever is going to go wrong for this guy. So he's going to have a flawless career and retire at 29-1. Just because, you know, Khabib won't let him. The whole team over there, they're not going to let him fight past 29, because otherwise then that's going to look bad for their guy. And then people are going to be like, oh, maybe Khabib's not the best fighter ever, even though he has 3 title defenses. But went off on a tangent there. Weaknesses. Adriano Martins, otherwise known as Pantoja. You know, his runaway pet goat his pet goat, otherwise known as his wife, could go missing, could run off a mountain, run off a cliff, and then Islam might accidentally fall off a cliff and die. That could be the downfall of his career. And then also weight cutting is actually a problem for him. Maybe if he has said that the weight cut we know is tough for him. As you can see on the picture, he looks like a gremlin. So I don't know how long he's going to be able to make 55. But opponents wise, Oliveira, Sayukin, Bernard St. Denis, Gaethje, Holloway in a potential fight. I don't see heaps of these guys giving him major problems. Topuria coming up would be an interesting one, but I need to see more from Ilya. I need to see him, you know, just prove a bit more than just beating Volk. I know Volk's great, but we need to see some stylistic matchups that are going to show us what an Islam fight would look like. But I think this guy holds on to the belt if he does stick at lightweight. But I'm going to only go with 2 defenses because I do think he is going to move up. And I think either he's going to move up, win, and then vacate the lightweight belt, or move up, or he's going to just not be able to make 55. He's going to have like a Khabib in Abu Dhabi kind of situation where, you know, they have to do some tinkering of the scale and just get that weight on point for him. And then he might just go up permanently. So I don't see him sticking around too much. I think he beats the Oliveira Sayukin winner. I think he beats Gaethje. And then I actually think he skedaddles and goes up to 170. So we move up to 170, the division we are just talking about. Leon Edwards is the champion, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like this. They're going to call me a Leon Glazer. I'm not even like a massive Leon Edwards fan, but something about him, I just think he's actually going to hold on to the belt for a while. I think he's going to get like 3 defenses, maybe even more. And I know people are going to call me crazy and they're going to say, Shavkat smokes him, Islam smokes him, Hamzat smokes him. All these guys, they beat him easily. He's not even good. I think Leon Edwards is going to be one of these guys that is just destined for a longish title reign and just going to be like that Adesanya 2.0 kind of guy that will get like 1 or 2 finishes here and there, but apart from that, he's just going to be outpointing people and everyone's going to hate him. He's going to lose a lot of fans, but he's just going to be a guy that's effective, an effective style. Look, strengths-wise, he's got technical striking, distance management, he's well-rounded. Weaknesses, though, he does give up his back, he can be taken down. So a guy like Shavkat, who does attack the back really well and has a good rear naked choke, I could see giving him problems. But his other weakness is, of course, the 7th layer hair. He does have a bit of a concern going on there. Also, conversations with women is another issue where he does struggle because, you know, are you Arab? Yeah, Leon Edwards, interesting guy. But potential opponents-wise, I think he beats Bilal. I think he actually beats Shavkat by close decision. I know everyone's going to call me fucking dumb and a casual and say, man, you don't know how good Shavkat is. Trust me, I know Shavkat's great. But stylistically, I reckon Leon just gets that one done. Della is a somewhat difficult matchup. Ian Gary, Islam's a high difficulty matchup. So I do think this guy holds the belt for a hot minute, beats Bilal, beats Shavkat, maybe beats Ian Gary or someone like that, or if they do MVP, he beats him. And then I think he loses to like an Islam, or maybe he declines a little bit and gets chinned by Della. But I do think this guy's actually going to hold on to the belt for a hot minute. And Mario Rios is going to be having the time of his life, just glazing for the next 2 years while Leon's champion. So we move on to the middleweight division. Dricus du Plessis. Look, Dricus du Plessis, I like him a lot. I think he's a great fighter. He's fun to watch, and I would love to have him as champion for a while. But unfortunately, we just look historically, we don't get really fun fighters stay champ for a while. Like Oliveira lost it after 2 fights. Yuri never defended the belt. Like these really, really barn burner fun, like amazing champions that are just action. And just go for it all the time. They're just never able to be champions. It's very unfortunate. With the exception of like Ngannou. But even Ngannou's like actual fighting style is not barn burner. It's just he catches people and KOs them. But like Dricus, Yuri, Oliveira, these are the guys that just go for it. And unfortunately, I don't think it's a very like longevity kind of inducing style for these fighters. So Dricus though, strengths, African, of course, he's the real African fighter. He's got power, he's got strong grappling. Awkward striking causes a lot of guys problems. Weaknesses wise, I guess, striking defense, straight punches, he gets tagged up a lot by jabs and crosses down the middle. And then also the racism allegations. He might actually just get cancelled and might just get abducted by the Helwanis and, you know, put in like a chamber and forced to become soy. Like, I don't know, that could happen. That is a realistic scenario that could happen, because Dricus, you know, he's saying too many interesting statements. Like, just like Manel Cap, there's no way they're letting him become champ. So Dricus wise, potential opponents, Strickland rematch, Izzy, Cannonier, Hamzat. I think those are his 4 most difficult fights in middleweight right now. Calm down, Brendan Shaw, Bo Nickal's not in the top 15 yet, he's not getting a title shot. And also calm down, MMA fighting and Mike Heck. Also Ikram Alaskarov is not in the top 15 yet, so just again, calm down. He's not getting a title shot. He's not ranked. He beat Wally Alves. He's not a future champion. But that's just something I always want to mention in every video whenever I mention these guys at middleweight. But Dricus, I do think he is going to win against Izzy if he grapples. I think that's a fight that I favour him in. And then that's the thing. I'm not confident in saying he loses any of these fights, but I'm also not confident in saying he wins. Like, Izzy could just catch him and just be on roids and grow a fucking D-cup boob and then just KO him in the first round. Strickland could beat him in a close decision. Like, Cannonier could beat him. Hamzat could sub him straight away. We don't know. Like, he could lose his next fight. He could also win against all of those guys that I mentioned. But Dricus, I think he's ultimately going to get like 1 or 2 more, and I do think he'll lose the belt just because these fun fighters, they're never able to hold on to it for a while. But we move on to the light heavyweight division. Alex Pereira, Shama, Desanya. 2 title defenses. Shama. Yeah, Pereira, you know, I think he's going to get 1 or 2 title defenses. I think he's going to beat Hill and then probably lose to Ankalaev. Or if they give him someone else, he would beat like a Yuri in a rematch, or like a Johnny Walker or Khalil Roundtree. Maybe he gets past Rakic. But Pereira, his strengths, obviously, he's got the left hook that goes boop and he just KOs people. He's got the leg kicks and he's got the power of the Shama. But also weaknesses, grappling, right hands. He literally gets tagged with right hands every time he fights. And then he's also getting older. He's like 36, 37. But his next opponent is Jamal Hill. I do favour him to win using the leg kicks and that. But again, he could just lose straight away and not defend the belt. But Ankalaev, high difficulty. Rakic, medium difficulty. Yuri, medium difficulty. Ankalaev's his most difficult matchup. I could see him maybe getting the leg kicks and catching Ankalaev, but if he gets wrestled, I just don't see this guy developing to a level where he's going to be able to just wrestle with these really good guys. But yeah, I think 1 or 2 more. I think he loses the belt either late this year or early next year. And yeah, the Sharma reign is going to probably come to an end, unfortunately. If they chase like a money fight with Izzy, I would favour him in that fight too. Then if he goes up to heavyweight, I wouldn't favour him in that fight. But let's move on to the heavyweight division. John Jones and Tom Aspinall. I've got to do both of them because Jones, it's kind of boring, of course. I think he's going to beat Stipe and then retire. But if we look at Jones, right, his strengths of obviously PD use, cocaine use, and DUIs. His weaknesses are Tom Aspinall, his aging, and then also drug testing. Also, potential opponents, Stipe, easy win. Aspinall, I think he loses. Again, either beats Stipe, retires, or beats Aspinall, beats Stipe, fights Aspinall, loses. Because I don't favour him in that fight. So 1 defense maximum for Jonathan Jones. But Tom Aspinall, the real champion in my eyes, obviously the one who is not the chicken, the one who is willing to fight anyone. His strengths, great boxing, he's quick, he's got great grappling. Weaknesses, he's got weak ligaments. Conversations with women, of course, he also struggles with what would it take? Have you ever been fingered by an MMA fighter? Yeah, so very interesting guy, Tom Aspinall. And then also actually getting a title shot might be his weakness because he can't start the title reign until he actually gets to fight for the belt, which is going to be a tough ask for him. But potential opponents, Jones, medium difficulty, Garn, medium difficulty, Almeida, I think he gets it done pretty easy. And then Blades, I think he struggles a bit, but eventually finds his way. But I would love this guy. Imagine this guy is champion and he's just like KOing cunts in like 1 minute every fight. That'd be sick. Imagine he just got like a title reign of like 4 consecutive defenses, just like chins gone, chins like Almeida, chins Blades, chins fucking, I don't know, Volkov, just KOs everyone in like a minute. That'd be sick. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll happen. If he becomes undisputed champ, I reckon the excitement might tone down a bit. But apart from that, I think he gets it done. So that's the video done, guys. Like, subscribe, all that shit. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. See ya.